Let's get to work.
Teams will deliver, and a lot of these two teams has been about the jungle matchup. Blabber and Griffin really do encapsulate the qualities of their team that are both the best and the worst.
The entirety of the team.
Yes, they really do. And you can see it come out in draft a lot as well. The Shyvana ban here.
Shyvana First Free natürlich ist ein bisschen... Hat er gestern Jungle Buff? Nein.
Carry champion. They oftentimes are able to get huge CS.
Olaf Ban weil Cassio Pick, Olaf Ban weil OP Champion.
And they actually paid more respect to
Cassio First Ban ist interessant.
I know.
Because they
Orianna ist offen.
which is premier top lane.
Aber ich habe mir sagen lassen, dass Loki sehr gerne Melee spielt.
Whereas Raz is sticking him down in last place.
Yeah. C9 putting some respect on Gatgo's name, or at least on Olaf's name.
Yeah, at least on Olaf's.
As they'll also ban out that Cassiopeia. Jarvan Nocturne Bard banned out by FlyQuest, and C9 makes the same play that so many of our teams are making these days in their game ones. They're picking the Ezreal first and foremost.
Pink Karma weg, Bard ist gebannt, interesting.
The Karma for FlyQuest to separate out. That is still one of the hardest pushing lanes available. And yeah,
Ist der Sleeper OP? Well, er ist sehr, also er ist...
Cryo 80 carry, even back on the last patch, when everyone was like, oh, mage bot lane is a thing. The most popular champion.
And this is a classic response.
Toplane Olaf ist OP, Jungle Olaf, well, er hat weniger XP, er hat weniger Gold. Kann sehr stark sein. Gegen Champions wie beispielsweise Ashe Seraphine, aber muss nicht.
Don't take any unnecessary risks. Just push in the wave, constantly get your peacemakers through, constantly look for your karma poke, and try and be the ones with the pushing bottom lane. That determines so much of games right now. If you get bottom lane control, then you're able to, start stacking dragons, and has been the most reliable course to success.
And it's one of the things that define this FlyQuest.
Haben wir schon Maokai gesehen von Tarzan? Ja, aber noch auf dem alten Patch.
In Split 1 and Split 2, it was through the power of this bot lane of Masu and Cryogen. And thus far in this split, they've looked a little bit shakier. I think they didn't necessarily...
Bei Leona.
Some of the support roam meta, especially with the
auf 3.
that Cryogen was sometimes missing on the map. But as we see, that Gnar locked in for Gatgos.
And I think that this it should be a good situation for Cryogen, a better situation, because not only does he get his hands on one of these range supports that has been better for him than some of the engaged ones, but also with the changes, the more restrictive support role quest, that also kind of lends itself more towards locking people in lane, getting more time for Caitlyn Karma to try and pressure. It'll be a little bit more punishing if Leona is trying to leave, to look for roams and affect the other lanes. But you can also just straight up try and look to crack that Caitlyn Karma lane with some ganks and some kills. We'll see if Blabber's able to get down there. Vi, unfortunately, is usually more of a level 6 champion, but you definitely can come after just your...
So, Schedule ist fertig für nächste Woche.
Onto the bot.
Yeah, at least try to disturb that bot lane, right? I like removing the Vayne.
Alrighty.
Kind of necessary.
Gibt's hier ein Szenario, in dem Timo gut ist? Boah. Schwierig, ne? Gegen Vayne, Top-Lane, maybe, aber dann haben die Gegner halt immer noch eine Vayne und das Timo. Teil 2 lädt gerade hoch, ja. Ist bei 60%.
I do think that Gatgos has had a bit of a rough start to this split, even on these kind of carry top laners that we kind of knew him for previously. So I'm hoping for...
Beim Timo mit dem Namen Midlaner, erinnere mich bitte nicht.
Thanatos is a really tough opponent to go up against, and you can already see that with the Ambessa and Vayne both taken off the table.
Der beim Sperrwurfbanger.
Double bans in the top side. Meanwhile, for C9, they're saying, all right, well, we've got our jungler. Let's ban out some of the good answers into that, and they ban out 2 champs that can straight up just stat check Vi anytime.
Und die Vayne kann einfach glänzen, die Vayne kann einfach glänzen gehen, aber das ist alles korrekt. Nasus und schon, I mean, das ist ein super Niche Jungle Buns, right? Mal schauen, was er anzubieten hat. Wo ist APA? Auf der Bank. Backstage mit Sven zusammen.
Of the entire draft, I highly expect this to be saved for quad in the mid lane. So I want to see what they go with for the jungler here on Fly.
Yeah, I'm also curious. I do want to bring up the fact that Azir has kind of received successive buffs. Both of these mid laners. It's Loki's most
Wukong schrecklich, persönlich.
One of Quad's best champs.
Do they want to go with a Yorick into the Gnar and try and split push on the side of Cloud9? I'm very interested to see if Thanatos wants to. Okay, so he does.
Last Pick Jace noch offen.
No, he does want
für Thanos.
Aggressive Jace match into it. And honestly, that is a very good one. So
Sind gar nicht da, glaube ich. Doch, die sind Backstage.
options of areas on the map he can go to.
Die sind definitiv
I will
Backstage.
say though, I've been a huge fan of Wukong. Even previous to the jungle pet buffs that just went down, they were not straight up a line in the patch notes that was, hey, we buffed Wukong, but
Markasier.
jungle pet getting more damage based on resistances greatly benefits Wukong because you get a bunch of extra armor off of your passive, and it did increase the clear speed of this.
NA Jace, Koreaner Jace.
It is one of the best.
Ja, kann spannend werden. Also ich mag Caitlyn Karma plus Azir. Das ist eine bockstarke Botside theoretisch, aber ich hasse Wukong persönlich. Kann spannend werden.
If you have Azir blow the flash, then you have Wukong ganking. That is a recipe for success.
And we do see the Azir coming out for Quad. It is his third most played all time. He's 19 and 10 on it with a 65% win rate. And I think when FlyQuest was succeeding previously with their old roster, they did such a good job of giving Quad so much side lane farm to then affect the map that way. We've been kind of missing that a little bit more with this FlyQuest team.
Er wird gehatewatched tonight.
Would suspect to see something like that come out where they're really going to try to funnel a lot of side waves into this Azir because Quad is so comfortable on it.
All right, draft is done for game number 1. Both of these teams, like we've already talked about a little bit, not quite the start they were hoping to, not that explosive initiation into summer to set themselves as one of the top contenders here, but both of them still hungry to get on track, still hungry to be one of those top competitors.
Alrighty.
Heading in.
Schauen wir mal, was hier anzubieten haben.
We already know this is your match of the week.
It is. Yeah, Raz was the Ultimate Grudge Match Bowl Part 2 yesterday between Dignitas and Shopify, which was a good choice.
Good choice, Raz.
He always complains that he can't pick first. He can pick first, and he did. But this is my match of the week.
Wait a second. Wait, really? Raz is allowed to pick first?
Yeah, he picked first the past 2 weeks. You're just lying to the people, Kobe.
Oh my God. I mean, Azael's the one that said it. But now my entire world has been shattered here.
Has it?
Yes.
You disagree with
we
Raz?
always felt bad for Raz. We always felt bad for Raz because we're like, oh, Raz is left with the leftover picks, right?
No, he's picking those. He's picking those matches himself.
I see. Well, Emily, you're the one with the leftovers here, the Cloud9 FlyQuest. That's why you were talking about how much action you want from this game.
And it's not gonna
Also letzte Woche wurde Gakos richtig geknallt. Mal sehen.
How important this could be for actual Worlds implications down the line. How both of these teams are hungry and how Vulcan can get a snazzy.
Sind sauer TPable? Auf jeden Fall, mein Freund. Auf jeden Fall, ja.
Most assists all time in the LCS, which is actually an insane statistic to hit.
Yeah, it feels like a lot of times we see people kind of hit these milestones of, oh, he's number 5 now, or oh, he broke into the top 10. A lot of those really tip-top spots are so far cemented away from everybody else, from players who have played for years and years and years and years. It's very difficult to contest them. And so here you can see just the difference between number 1 and then going down to number
Ist off-topic, ne? Alles gut, passt.
is over.
Krank, dass Afrumo immer noch Rank 1 ist, ne? Aber es sind nur 30 Assists, also theoretisch kann er es dieses Jahr übertreffen, wenn es 3 Games sind. Theoretisch.
For that to happen here in this series, there's a very high likelihood of it happening here in Summer Split. It would be very surprising for it not to happen. Vulcan and C9 would have to have some pretty lousy games. So we'll keep our eye on that one as things go forward.
And small shout out to Blabber, you know, he's going to be moving up the ranks today, provided he gets 2 assists in this series.
I would hope that my jungler could get 2 assists in a series. That would be pretty important.
Oh, no assist on that one!
Here in the side, as soon as we pan up into
Was?
top lane, Thanatos on the Jets, maybe justifying some of Rad's slander. Let's take another look.
I was going to say, are we... was right immediately here. Thanatos teleports in, gets the shock blast on the Gakkos. Let's see, and then...
Okay, aber was macht Blatt da? Warum flasht er nicht?
Man!
No joke, warum flasht er nicht, ey?
Oh,
Wie willst du gewinnen?
that's rough.
Hä?
Yeah, that's...
The little mini Gnar just got a hammer to the head, Flowers.
That mini Gnar is a puddle of guts and goop on the ground now, man. That hammer squished him.
Yeah, I mean, Electrocute Jace shocked him.
Zap. Not really good. Okay, well, Mini Gnar has unfortunately started off with a really, really bad turn of events up here in the top lane, but C9's loving it.
Honestly, though, the reaction gif is the best. It was perfect. He's just scratching his head there. Well, I guess I'm dead. Uh-oh. That guy could just teleport in and kill me like that? Okay.
Yeah, so Thanatos certainly living large up here in the top side, checking in on junglers. They did start on opposite areas of the map. First Scuttle Crabs have already been cleared. You can see Griffin lurking here around the top side, but for Thanatos, things are great. Yeah, his jungler's on the opposite end of the map right now, but the wave is coming to him, so it's not like he's going to be under any pressure after securing that solo kill earlier. Top lane going exactly as C9 would want it. Meanwhile, down there in the bottom lane, you can see the largest individual CS lead in the game does belong to Masu.
Spielen gute Lane, right? Brauchst halt diese Skirmishes, Best Case, damit du Botlane besser lane kannst.
Yeah, and when you're locked in a 2v2 against the Caitlyn Karma, it does feel really bad. I did like this response from FlyQuest, especially since I do think their bot lane doing well has been such a key factor in
Wanderlange von den 15.
performances that we've seen.
Wow, das war von denen aus.
Yeah. It's been a huge lever for success for this team, which we can judge them by. And Masu himself, you know, he did play a lot against Tactical in 2024, and he was undefeated, versus Tactical. So even though at the beginning of the day, you know, I was interviewing the coaches, and I was, you know, letting them know, oh yeah, Cloud9 haven't lost to FlyQuest all year long, but Masu has not lost versus Tactical all ever long.
Yeah.
Ich bin auf dem Live-Patcher.
That's a long time.
Yes, there's a song, ever long.
Wow.
All right, we're getting in the cultural times here.
Yeah.
As we do have the Dragon started up by FlyQuest.
No Upgrades, meint bei beiden.
Of this one, Vaultbreaker charged up. Caitlyn placed onto the floor.
Lol. Ist er gerade in eine Trap reingequeued? Das ist crazy.
Out of the Orianna, so although C9 wanted to try to stop it, you saw the smites come down in the first one. Take it to 20 HP or
This
so.
is funny.
Looked like a bit of an improper timing there from Blabber, which led FlyQuest to being able to escape with the objective, but now Griffin is back down here in the bottom lane, looking to maybe get something as a follow-up, but no, he's spotted by the ward. Tactical and Vulcan get back.
Yeah, and it kind of just allows for all of them to reset, pick up some items. But yeah, this is what having
Okay, das erste Thumbnail ist fertig außerdem.
is the first look at the Drake. As we look back on the smite, because this did end up being pretty dicey.
It's a good old-fashioned fair smite fight. I love these, and nobody has upgraded smite, so they're just looking to chunk it down. Masu's like, you know what? I want to see you guys put your reaction to the test. Gets it low, 32 HP left. And Griffin is able to claim it. And then Quad goes for the flash play to go for both of them. He does get the flash out of Loki in trade, which is still always good for Azir, because Azir plus Wukong, as I mentioned in Champion Select, they're looking to immediately blow the Orianna flash and then repeat pressure this champion over and over in lane. Try and use your ults as soon as they come back off cooldown.
Yeah, and we'll see what either jungler wants to do with those flashless mid laners. Meanwhile, you know, Vulcan and Tactical have had enough of getting getting shoved in by the Caitlyn Karma, so they are going to be the first to swap, try to push in this wave before FlyQuest is able to respond with their own duo bot lane.
Yeah, and they say, well, we haven't had enough, so we're going to match you.
We're having a great time, actually.
Ja.
Yeah, they're going to match him up to the top side.
So,
though, he is the
das wird das erste sein. Mit der Scheme Cam, Work in Progress, wird noch besser über die Wochen. Aber das wird das erste. Okay. Shoutouts an Cerise außerdem, der hat das komplette Ding gecarried, as always. Komisch. Überraschung.
Ooh, but now we get both junglers sitting on their own control wards. Griffin's going to be the first to step up. Cryogenic Masu having control. They're going to look for Blabber, who immediately wants to reverse things right back after.
Guter Flash von Cryogen, aber die haben irgendwas in der CC-Chain verhauen. 100% haben die irgendwas in der CC-Chain verhauen. Oh wow, was hast du da gerade gemacht? Wait. Geil eingeflasht. Wow, Vulcan, das war gut. Das war verdammt gut von Vulcan.
him down.
Wow.
Rotation from Loki ends up making a difference here in the Orianna as Vulcan has the killer instinct to flash the ball in.
Das war verdammt gut von Vulcan.
Score big.
That was beautiful from Vulcan. Not only the flash in with the shockwave, but then also hits the solar flare, hits the zenith blade, gets the extra kill onto Griffin, and Tactical pumping DPS the entire time. Really nice counter attack there from Cloud9 after FlyQuest thought they were going to have the momentum on the first kill.
Yeah, that was such a
Hallo,
beautiful
Kappa.
combination from Loki.
Und danke für die 210er-Streak.
Look here, Griffin going on to Blabber. Blabber.
Er hatte, weil Vulcan, glaube ich, für den Ausdeck gegangen ist, statt im Q direkt, deswegen konnte er rausflashen.
He's able to kind of get his team up out of there. But then, yeah, this play from Vulcan, so well coordinated. Flash, shockwave, then landing the Zenith Blade, stunning up Griffin so that Tactical can clean up that kill.
Yeah, beautiful from Vulcan, looking both sides here. And you see him already putting his mouse over the Wukong, hits the ultimate, hits the Zenith Blade as well, and Tactical's there enough to finish the damage before Vulcan even went down to tower damage. I also want to point out, though, Masu, that was pretty weird for me, like netting in only to go melee range and then getting stunned and cleansing and then having a flash out as well. As the early rotation from mid lane should have been called. The Orianna move was very early on from the mid lane, and they could have been communicating about it. So I think the net forward from Masu was a little off as well.
And I'm going to cover what we missed.
Wie sicher ist der Jace Carry dieses Game? Wie sicher ist das Arm in der Kirche, mein Bruder? 1500 Meter Frauenfinale. Was war es bei Männern, dass ich einen Referenzwert habe?
Going right through to follow it up. Cryogen dies here first, but now Griffin is coming in. He's got quad behind it. Blabber with a flash away tries to escape.
Aha.
Clone catches him. Now Vulcan and
Meine Achse sind ein bisschen deep.
as well as the Emperor's Divide comes out.
Er ist bei FlyQuest weg. Ja, minus Bippo, minus Inspired. Minus Busio.
They grab the 2 kills in retaliation.
Konnte das sehr gut beschleunigt.
From the replay earlier, which is what I was going to try to talk about, but we got more action. So FlyQuest, although we did see Cloud9 land a couple of punches, Fly are not asleep at the wheel.
Look, we already set this up that I felt like you were going to get a workout today, right? Because if we got the game,
43 krank. Warte mal, was?
This is what it's going to be look like. Punch after counter punch. This is going to allow FlyQuest to get hopefully their second Drake. It doesn't look like, C9 are not going to be able to
Silence einfach im 25.
really crucial, especially because of the leads that C9 had been able to build in top and now in that bot lane.
No flash, yeah.
I'm looking Phil.
I'm still
Looking
here.
cover? Yeah.
Can you reach?
or no?
Yeah.
Okay, we're going cover, we're going cover.
Yeah.
Wukong's coming, okay guys?
Yeah.
It's fine, it's fine.
He's
One
one
shot.
shot.
Wait, slowly back. Wukong's coming, Wukong's
Yeah.
coming.
We can still fight, no?
Yeah, maybe looking by on Leona. Okay.
Look here, look here.
Vi 1 HP.
I can kill Vi.
Right, no flash, right, no flash.
No flash.
No
bot
flash,
lane,
no flash.
Just go Leona.
I'm just killing this guy.
Yeah.
Can I get kill?
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice.
Liebe die Instant Replays. Machst du Lane Series auch noch? Ich weiß nicht. Kommt doch an, wie lange die Series hier geht.
From Masu, as Cryogen is going to go down, they're making the calls. Hey, no flash on this guy, so we're going to go kill him. But as long as they get the traps there around the support that is going down, they're able to get the counter kill on both Blabber and on Vulcan. So Emily's match of the week is delivering in combat score. And
Great score. Love that score.
We love combat score. Congrats to Blabber. As we already pointed out, he only needed 2 assists, currently sitting at 3 surpasses Bjergsen for 6.
Das ist langsam morgen früh. I mean.
And funnily enough,
Also morgen früh, das Ding ist over.
assist to Vulcan.
6 Uhr. Also ich stehe schon früh auf, aber ich sag mal 8 Uhr ist meine Zeit. Also das ist sowieso over.
So much here
Macht keinen Unterschied.
for Cloud9.
Aber ja.
Of course, the previous play we just watched actually was net negative on kills for them.
Gab es jemals ein LoL Crit, Lethality war im Pro-Play? Ja, Baus bei EMEA Masters.
The combat score, the action score here for Cloud9, and they have pushed the gold lead to a very sizable amount here. 1,000 at almost 13 minutes as they continue to pressure the bot side, but FlyQuest making their big move.
Yeah, FlyQuest have eyes on Thanatos again. During that earlier replay, they tried a 3-man play after him, but weren't able to
Jungle,
Now they're
nicht
sending
gesehen.
even more as Thanatos tries
Ey, die spielen gut, ne? Also die Sache ist, die haben immer noch eine Unskill-Comp mit Azir plus Caitlyn.
They can just hard force this play, find the kill onto the Jace. Meanwhile, C9 applying pressure onto the tier 1 turret here in the bottom lane. Should be both of these tier 1s dying, as C9 are going to get the first one down here in bottom lane.
Yeah, I was going to say both teams kind of trading pressure points on the map. with the FlyQuest trying to take down Thanatos. Here's exactly what I was talking about with Quad's Azir trying to vacuum up a bunch of this side.
Wo ist Sven? Backstage auf der Bank.
Down this turret.
Deswegen hate watchen wir.
Cryo is going to go for a little trip into the jungle, get some key vision down.
And some good things for the side of Cloud9, even though FlyQuest trying to answer here. They are going to have a tactical on Trinity Force for Dragon number 3. You know, Dragon number 3 is where you want to put a stop to the stacking for FlyQuest, and Ezreal with Trinity Force going to have a very big impact. Caitlyn, oftentimes we say one item isn't going to be a big impact, but sometimes you can get really good trap setups or placement there, so maybe we'll see
Gakos Downgrade.
if there's a lot of utility out of the trap.
Ganz klares Downgrade.
As the damage that Masu is going to be able
Aber
to
ist halt jung.
if you can get to the Dragon early for FlyQuest, it'll have huge benefits.
Wird Sven jemals wieder spielen nächstes Jahr?
To get that set up early, and is going to allow you the extra vision control.
And one thing I really want to point out about C9's gold lead now, as
Well, you
Man,
might have a
they're gonna go
chance,
on
you might
Gekko's,
not. Okay, never
all
mind.
right.
Let's hear it.
All right, we have a small window before they start fighting again, and it's that topside play with the Ori Leona combo was so crucial because of what it did for Tactical, right? Like prior to that, they were getting really pushed in by this Caitlyn Karma. Tactical is now in such a good spot, and I think for all of the talk we've had about is it a 5-man, is it a 7-man?
Das ist eine Tactical für einen, die Sache ist, das Tactical, also Tactical, to be fair, right? Also, ich habe jetzt nicht gegen ihn per se, der hat auch gut gespielt dieses Jahr. Diesen Split bisher. Der hat wirklich gut gespielt.
And with this gold lead on
Prinzip ist ein Prinzipding, das Baba noch spielen.
carry to have in C9's fights.
Yeah, Ezreal definitely one of his favorited champions.
Yeah.
Definitely one of his best performers, and he has been both very threatening on it as well as not exposing himself to too much risk. Always like to see them try and play on the edge, but FlyQuest here just going to make the cross map as the Rift Herald goes over to Cloud.
Was ist Sven schon angestellt? Nix.
More money into Quad. Again,
Er ist das Opfer für, also er würde, kriegt die Runde von dir organisiert? Ja.
For mid game, you're trying to get more money on this champion. Despite all of the changes that have gone to Azir over the many years,
Ist,
good to get extra money.
er ist nur ein Opfer von Blabber am Ende des Tages, er kann nichts dafür.
AP champ for those mid-game team fights, and you're going to have the ability to make large plays. I will say it's greatly reduced if you don't blow flashes before the dragon fight, and in a lot of cases now, honestly, I think that he'll be better placed looking for like front-to-back damage, but we'll see as Cloud9 takes the vision leading up to the dragon.
Exactly. Cloud9 with control over this bottom side river. Kobe, you mentioned
Wagen boxt sich doch nicht ein.
10 of them.
Der könnte auch noch was ganz anderes machen. Das würde auch vieles leichter machen, aber
of the rift. The only summoner spell
Topic for another day.
is Loki's teleport as Griffin gets grabbed by the Zenith blade, but now Vulcan's got to be careful. Needs to flash back away because he ends up going too far forward with that Leona engaged. So now FlyQuest, what else do you want to do? Because the dragon has already been secured. C9 had enough of a distraction there with Vulcan that Blabber was just able to take the Drake, no contest, as the Herald is dropped on the side of mid lane, and that should at least be able to find a charge that gets most of the remaining HP of the mid lane turret. Emperor's Divide just thrown out there to stop the Herald charge. Nice usage from Quad. It's not quite the same thing as a Bard ulti, but you know what? It does the same job.
Yeah, you just want to do it early so you get the wall up there and existing before the Herald does charge, so you can just knock it into it and take care of the Herald afterwards.
Yeah.
War gestern heute LCS Live vor Ort, jeweils nur 4 Games.
Out of this play from C9, right? Like
Und
really
es stinkt morgen, wenn es auch wieder 4 Games, to be honest.
forced Fly to check into Fog, and you know Blabber was already on the Drake, right? And it was really important that they stopped this FlyQuest early Drake stacking, despite the slight waste of the Herald afterwards because of the Azir ult.
And it's really important for both of these teams to be able to compete at the top of the table if they want to try to make it to Worlds, if they want to try to make it to an LCS title, like the one that they could be playing for on October 3rd and 4th at the Gas South Arena in Atlanta, Georgia. You can scan that QR code, get your tickets right now. These guys got to beat the hell out of each other to get there. All you got to do is beat the hell out of that QR code, and you'll be able to join them right there in that arena. It's a thing of
Don't
beauty.
go punching your screen right now.
I'm imagining someone punching their screen, and as someone who broke their hand punching something, do not do that. It is a bad idea. I'm telling our viewers now.
I'm up here with Flowers and Emily.
Wo hat Emily reingeschlagen, um sie die Hand zu brechen?
Yeah, true. Let's go.
Das ist die Frage so.
Someone sent help.
Hat sie gegen die Wand geboxt?
Kobe's like, I'm scared.
There's a reason Kobe's not the one in the middle.
Yeah, true.
Und wann zur Hölle hat Tactical seit 2
in the
Seiten?
middle of a game state that I feel like could explode at any moment. It's 4-4. It's a 1,000 gold lead.
Ja, dieser Azir wird ein Riesenproblem.
Super huge, but they do have at least small advantages in 4 out of 5 rolls as Thanatos continues pushing this side lane, gets that wave shoved up into the tier 2 bottom, but there it is. There's Azir duty once again, like you're talking about, Kobe. Quad is happy to become the biggest, strongest, shiniest chicken he can be in this side lane.
Yeah, I mean, I think the setup for FlyQuest fights does rely a lot on the power of this Azir, right? And specifically, if he's able to get onto this Ezreal, Ezreal is notoriously a very difficult champion to get on top of and eliminate in the back line of a fight because he has so much mobility and agency. So that is, those are kind of the 2 power points in whatever ends up being the next fight that I'm looking at.
And I like that Quad is going the traditional Azir build, the DPS focus.
Double pen, ja. Second item Nash, Death Cap.
When you need sustain and when you want some burst damage for a Sheen proc there. But the traditional carry, wait a second.
Stark.
That is disaster there for FlyQuest. They lose their jungler. 20 seconds until the Baron spawns, 30 seconds until Griffin is back alive. So at least it's not as bad as it could be if that Baron was already on the map. But Griffin was the 1 point of FlyQuest that did have a gold advantage. So finding that snappy pick onto him feels good for C9.
Yeah, and I think it's really nice.
Aber es ist ein sehr guter Pick, right? Aber Death Cap Spike bei Azir wird nochmal ein richtig unangenehmes Ding, ey. Also ein richtig unangenehmes Ding.
Jace or Ezreal if they're there, but Vulcan has been so on point with this Leona, locking people down and kind of forcing FlyQuest to make dangerous face checks or make a face check that they didn't necessarily know was dangerous.
Yeah, and I was going to say, I'm not as impressed with the way Griffin is using his face at the moment. They do have 3 Scryer's trinkets right now, the blue trinkets. It is kind of dangerous to face check. Wukong, you have to be very ready and quick at using your clone.
Yeah.
Like this champion, is pretty, decent at face checking, but in the last couple, it has been Blabber, this time clicking quicker on his R button as Masu's just dead.
You want to talk about quick, blink and you'll miss.
Das geht sehr hart.
He dies as Thanatos jumps over the wall. That is now 2 out of 5 FlyQuest players that have been insta-gibbed by the hammer in game 1.
Yeah. Do we have the gift to play over again? Yeah. same exact thing here, except Masu's now scratching his head. What the heck? That Jace came out of my own jungle. Regardless, though, yeah, the last one was, Blabber clicks on his R button before Griffin can click on his W button there for the.
LCS sieht schon trash aus. Ja.
And they just instantly deleted him. But FlyQuest going to click right on that Baron.
Okay, Baron started up. Let's see if we get anything out of it. No, sir. Instead, Griffin is just going to walk away. Vulcan's Solar Flare shows that Cloud9 was ready to commit if FlyQuest wanted to stick around, so they are immediately backing off of that one. Cloud9, 3,500 gold lead now. This is starting to get kind of dicey for FlyQuest. Earlier, we were talking about how back and forth they're trading punches, but that was when FlyQuest had 2 Drakes to none. Now C9 is about to tie up this Drake count, so you don't have that different area of advantage, while also having the 3,000 gold lead. It's really looking C9 favored.
Yeah, and I think it's a combination of
Das große Problem ist, auf dem nächsten Drake wird dieser Jace so unglaublich OP sein.
Thanatos and Tactical, and then also how, as Kobe already pointed out, FlyQuest have made some maybe over-eager
Also hat Death Cap, aber
into a few
auch schon bei 6,15, das ist so krank.
And I think it's really big how I don't mind the attempt, right, by FlyQuest at being like, maybe we can sneak the Baron, they back off immediately, but that does end up giving this 4th Drake over to C9, and they should just be able to keep pushing. Now you see they're already rotating up Vulcan and Thanatos to clear out this vision and potentially set up for a Baron take.
Yeah, I'm progressively getting more and more worried for FlyQuest as it goes on, because while, you can like start it up and check and see if they're, blind or lazy or something on the other side. No.
They got to be one of the two, man. Blind and lazy or we're in trouble.
Yeah. no flash on Wukong. This champion, I really think Wukong right now in the meta is excellent with the extra resistances and clear speed that you get because of those
First
resistances.
pick.
But without
Nein, Ezreal first pick.
Flash is
Ezreal first
such
pick.
a big playmaking tool for
Ezreal into Karma.
alone into fights. You want to be able to flash E into fights so you can do your
Karma Kate.
combo and then use your clone for extra
Into
knockout.
Vi Leona. Into Wukong auf 3.
And then you can really be a monster in these teams.
Na auf 4. Dann Jace, Orianna und Last Pick Azir.
With no flash for the next team fight is dangerous.
Ooh, Blabber decides to full send it in after.
High Damage.
They are going for the Wukong.
Nicht
Second
genug,
pass.
ne?
The Cyclone gives him enough distance to stay alive for now, but Quad has to jump back over the wall. The shifting sands to also barely escape, so no kills for C9. But the FlyQuest jungler and mid laner are out of the picture. They must go back to base and heal. Remember that Quad will have his teleport to rejoin the rest of the team if he needs to. As C9 start up the Baron, Scryer's trinket from the FlyQuest side is going to see this started, but it's very low.
Kate Bild sus. Bin persönlich, I mean, ich mag Hexoptik mehr. Personally, aber I mean, that's okay.
FlyQuest to come and stop them and potentially throw the lead.
So if we're doing a punches count from your earlier, dream of having punches,
Oh, oi, 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 oi.
I think Cloud9
Atombomben.
may have like doubled the amount of punches thrown than FlyQuest now. Even when they don't kill them, Cloud9, quick punch in the face and they have to
It's a
run
jab.
away and
Yeah.
you get an
It's a jab.
objective.
Yeah, I feel like if we're counting the poke from the Ezreal, from
And
the
the shock
Jace,
blast,
as
too.
like, punches, right? Like, you're not KOing someone, but you're definitely causing a lot of bruising.
Yeah, they're running away.
Maybe some broken bones, you know?
They're certainly keeping FlyQuest guessing, making them have to remain with their guard up because it's C9 deciding everything so far in this mid-game. 2 minutes until the next Drake spawns. Remember that Cloud9 have got the previous 2, even though FlyQuest got the first 2. And that first one was 20 or 30 HP away from also being a C9 Drake. If that would have gone to Blabber, if that was just slightly different, then FlyQuest could be staring down the barrel of a Dragon.
Na, die Worldsman, lass mal mit Playoffs
They're
anfangen.
very thankful that punch didn't land.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I think the biggest concern for FlyQuest right now is that with the map control that C9 have, it's just going to make it riskier and riskier to be able to check for vision or anything without taking a face full of poke from the Jace, from the Ezreal. And I also am trying to think about like what an ideal team fight from FlyQuest looks like at this point, right? Because Kobe, you already touched upon how Wukong can be such a crucial engage tool. We haven't talked about Gakos much, and it's because we really only touched upon when he got solo killed earlier, right? But this Gnar rather hasn't really had a lot of say or agency in some of the team fights that you'd want from a Gnar. They haven't been able to set up really well for the Azir or the Caitlyn. So we're kind of still waiting to see what a good team fight from FlyQuest would look like. But as we see, Masu just loses about a third of his health from more C9 poke.
Wieder auf Griffin Turn. Oh,
I
wollte
would
gerade sagen.
highlight that there's too many 3-item power spikes on Cloud9 right now compared to
Ich sag's, dieser Azir macht mir immer noch ein wenig Angst, aber er ist halt ein Level down. Also Orianna ist an sich auch stark. Items schreien jetzt aber nicht gerade, ich mach
too many,
Damage.
like extra full build items.
Tactical auch mit Double Omnivamp, super.
And don't go for the third dragon and wait for the actual soul.
Holy.
It's really risky. You really gotta have your best possible chance because I don't think FlyQuest are gonna get, more than a chance or two at another big team fight here. It looks like they are circling around to maybe threaten from the Baron side of the map, though.
And that's what I like from C9 here. You can see, just like with the last Drake, this one is...
Ja, hier Double Omnivamp in dieser Situation ist halt so geil.
Attention over in mid. Blabber solos down the Drake. Now, yes, FlyQuest are still looking over towards that Baron, but another Shock Blast hits. Now, both of the big carries on FlyQuest are chunked down to around half HP thanks to Shock Blast. It feels way too risky to try to start anything. Thanatos stepping forward again, just looking at Griffin. Multiple auto attacks. Another Shock Blast. That's a third champ below half HP from Shock Blasts.
Was mit Sven? Ist auf der Bank, ist aber im Studio dabei. Haben 7 Mann Roster offiziell.
Another punch and another FlyQuest member running away.
Yeah.
Well, he punched him and then he also shot him a couple of times. That's
He's just fighting dirty. That's below the belt for sure.
That's pretty messed up. Chased him off the crab, though, for sure. That's like the Cloud9 are just kind of bullying them across the map. They're not allowed to do anything. And Flowers, what is the oldest and truest counter to poke? It is always hard engage. Always has been. You have to use flashes on the Wukong, on the Nog.
3 ist bei Thanatos.
The Azir to hell.
Sven nicht mehr gut genug. Er ist ein Opfer von Blabber, guys.
At the critical moment
Ui.
before getting poked out, but they're constantly getting chunked out.
Frage ist, wie acceleratest du das Game? Also du hast 3 Drakes, das ist alles fein. Aber wie acceleratest du das Game, ohne den Nash zu starten? Weil Nash ist hier natürlich, also das ist Hunting Nash, ne? Trap.
Like we were expecting, and yeah, Masu and Cryogen were loving that lane phase, but now Tactical's Ezreal up to an over 1,000 gold lead compared to Masu. Cloud9 as a team, they do have the 1 extra turret over their opponents here as well, as the Baron is started up, but not committed immediately, though. Griffin goes in, wanting to commit onto Thanatos. C9 peeling back. Griffin might be your target now, but C9 does not want to overextend.
Yeah.
Thanatos is injured. Thanatos probably going to need to take a recall here as Loki steps forward, trying to clear out some of the wave. Blabber goes in, wants to find the target onto Quad. The Azir down to half HP, barely staying alive right now as Blabber loses Guardian Angel. He's going to respawn in a very bad spot. Gat grabs the kill. Loki into the stasis with the arm guard staying alive for now, but he dies next. Beautiful fight from FlyQuest, has already found 2. Can they get anything more? C9's not going to let him have it, but Fly finally get their moment.
Griffin, he gets the flash play. He sees the opening there onto Thanatos. They go in, they get the flash off the Jace, and then they start to siege themselves. And then it
Guys, up.
Cloud9 stumbles
Guys.
their own attempt at the engages.
First time.
Here tries to get all the way to the Azir, just a little short, so then he has to ult, and he's all alone, gets shuffled into the rest of the team, and the real star are the traps from Caitlyn. Masu here, he also traps out of Zhonya's, he baits in the Jace here, so that Griffin was able to find his image, and then the knockups, all the knockups there from Griffin, the last one critical too, as disengaging, then they pull up the siege. Here's the Blabber attempt, look at him go, he tries to Q and flash, it was a little short, then he goes for the ultimate, but there's no follow-up there, and Gakkos is able to section him off. Trap out of the GA, boom, dead. Again, trap out of the Zhonya's here from Masu. Very nice. Into another shutdown from him.
Yeah, and you see it as we see.
Dom not happy about that one.
Yeah, and off camera we did get the FlyQuest Baron take. It looks like. But I think the other big thing is that because Griffin landed that engage, we talk about hard engage versus poke. You know who wasn't a huge part of that fight was Thanatos, right? Because he got chunked so quickly, and then Blabber's engage kind of being a little bit ahead of where the rest of the team was at, immediately shuffled out. So now FlyQuest are sieging on this mid tier 1, and this is Gakkos kind of stalking along the side. This is what I like about this FlyQuest team, is that they will keep fighting, they will keep
Atombomben.
right? Like they never seem particularly out of a game, even if their opponents have a map advantage.
And I will say it is easy to short a like Q flash on Vi sometimes. You know, it's the full range is kind of hard to get, but Quad didn't even have to flash in response to it, you know? And FlyQuest still have their critical flashes here too, so I don't think that Cloud9 are going to be able to defend very much, and yeah, they have to give up another tower here, so a lot of gold, so much payment off of that critical team fight for FlyQuest, and meanwhile, they still have all their critical flashes on the Azir, on the Caitlyn. I mean, it's looking quite good for the comeback.
Yeah, it's another tower that has to be given up. And
Meine Orianna hat 0 Damage.
Dragon here as well. FlyQuest still has the Baron for over another minute. The Dragon spawning in about 20 seconds. This would be Chemsoul if C9's able to secure it, but it is a point of power for Fly, who have tied the game up in terms of gold. Very, very stark contrast to being down 3,000 just a few minutes ago. C9, however, do have control over the entrance to the bot side river, and FlyQuest are willing to step up to try to challenge that. You can still see about 1/4 of the cooldown remaining on the flash from Griffin.
Boah, Alter, was drückt? Ganz kurz, was drückt Masu eigentlich für Atombomben?
Blabber with the wrap all the way around here, trying to get the angle onto FlyQuest. Masu chunked down to half HP thanks to the shock blast. Gakkos' Narbar is mostly charged, but
Was?
not quite there just yet. Blabber with a mega
Okay.
blast over the wall. The shockwave on top of him. Blabber's trying to follow it up, but
Oh, wow, der E hat getroffen noch?
to the last last bit of damage from the Vi. Griffin in the middle of everybody, gonna trade 80 carries back and forth, but Blabber is now also dead. Big Mega Narc coming in.
Thanos.
Thanatos has to try to run away as Vulcan.
Boah, Loki und Thanos machen so Meter. Oh mein Gott, wie die spacen. Ja, okay, die Koreaner pissen wieder auf alle anderen.
Now Cryogen's got to be a little bit careful. Quad's still alive, but he's low on HP. And right when I'm saying it looks like FlyQuest should have control over the river, have control over the current game state, it's C9 who win the fight 3 for 2.
All right, Blabber makes up for the distance this time because that was the longest range engage that we have seen in a long time. Flanks around the world through the back of the jungle. Super blast cones onto Masu's face, and then just as Masu flashes away, he's still at the ultimate.
Ja, war ein guter Engel von Blabber.
Yeah, they're going in for it. Quad gets away from the shock blast, but Cryogen's going to be the target instead. They know they can catch that Karma so easily. Shockwave into the solar flare forces out the stasis from Quad.
Wow.
He will die right there after.
Wow.
Loki has his own stasis to make sure that Quad can't trade the
Loki
kill.
spielt schon.
Now with Loki having no resources, very low health, completely out of mana, they do have to be a little bit careful here. Blabber is alive back on the map, heading towards the Dragon Pit, but Griffin is also here. So actually, I wasn't wrong, I wasn't right.
Ja, kein Flash auf Masu und schaut mal blaue Position an.
Now FlyQuest are gonna potentially be taking first crack at it.
Round
Yeah.
15.
Ding, ding, ding.
Ding, ding, ding. Okay, Dragon now, though, it is controlled by C9, and it looks like once
Wow.
the dust finally settles from this extended fighting, it will be a Chemtech Soul claimed 34.5 minutes into the game for C9.
Yep, Azir still dead after everything used to try and stop the previous iteration of the Dragon Soul by FlyQuest.
Not a top
Wait,
one.
Blabber's in goal,
Wait,
Blabber's in goal.
Guys, I'm going.
Blabber's in
Okay,
goal.
okay.
Coming, no flash.
Yeah.
1 HP.
Wukong's here with no W, no flash.
Killing dead.
Hit front, kill Wukong.
Azir door. Yeah. Kill Wukong, guys.
Wukong almost dead.
No
flash. Third Oriana.
Azir,
Azir,
Azir.
Azir.
Kill Azir.
Yeah. No shield.
That's guy one time.
Kill Lara, kill Lara, Thanatos.
No flash.
Yeah.
No flash.
I can go Azir again, guys.
Yeah,
I
Azir door.
I fucked up.
Just hop back up. Azir, guys.
A little bit of
We
a-
can go Azir again.
Yeah.
Oh, just kidding, I missed my
Yeah.
Steelers plate.
Chemtech ist nicht schlecht,
By that point, anyway.
aber gibt natürlich viel besseres Tools, ja.
And Vulcan was healing back up with his protoplasm. I have to say, man, that the circumnavigation of the globe from Blabber here. He got Masu's flash and the net while his ult was already on him, so still got to follow. And got Cloud9 right back in here. Emily, you predicted this with your match of the week.
Let's go. I mean, it was going to be hard to top Ultimate Grudge Match Bowl Part 3, right? But this has been a banger, right? We've seen really good plays, I think, from both teams. We've seen some pretty big mistakes from both teams, which is kind of what we were expecting headed into this entire match, right? We have two teams, one kind of still trying to feel out adding 2 more players to their lineup. And then FlyQuest with a pretty difficult schedule to start the season as well. And kind of trying to avoid stagnation from and to continue to improve instead of kind of flattening out after doing so well in the first 2 splits.
All right, Baron started up on the C9 side. It looks, or maybe not started up. Blabber is he actually committed to this? Yes, Blabber's trying to just solo the Baron down. He's got the shielding for the passive there. Tactical takes a massive hit down to half HP. Griffin tries to initiate.
Masu. Oh mein Gott, der ist ja.
Solar Flare seals his fate, and Griffin's gonna die right next to him. Quad's inside the stasis. He stays alive, flashing away for now.
Der Azir macht richtig gute Meter.
Gotta be careful.
Loki hat noch Flasche.
The stasis as Blabber tries to get away. He might die for real.
Boah, der Azir. Holy fuck.
But it's only FlyQuest who have lost any men. Quad tries to step forward. He knows there's so many kills that are so easy right now, but C9 has managed to create the distance and get everybody away.
Yeah.
Close but not enough is a frequent term used with Chemtech Soul.
Yeah, but the big thing about that is this Azir is still so deadly, right? Oh, we see a deep TP coming in.
Oh, and it's Thanatos as well. The Jace that can do so much damage.
Nash, oder?
Find anybody immediately hanging around that back of the Baron pit area, but this does give a green light for C9 to go after the Baron. Griffin's still dead for another 5 seconds, so there should be no challenge. Again, it's another big buff going to C9 uncontested.
Yeah, nice reaction from C9. They're going to be able to get this Baron. They also force Azir to have to respond to that wave that they'd pushed in.
Ja, Tactical Show, also, Items Fight, I mean,
I'm just looking at objective timers and I'm like,
gut bei Loki fertig, Fragezeichen. Und dann, also der Azir ist halt so strong.
again, we've seen
Azir wird 100% viel mehr gespielt nach den nächsten Patches.
do with their compositions in terms of setup. Right now, I'd still give C9 the edge slightly because they should be able to set the map up with their poke like they were doing a lot of the time in the mid game. And really try to keep track of that potential Wukong engage.
Wird's ein Elder Flip?
The durability afforded by
Kann sehr gut ein Elder Fight sein, ja.
helps so much for these teams that you're kind of looking at such flash hard engage from FlyQuest. Even when they got it, you don't have quite enough damage to finish it off. In the previous scenario, you know, with the extra shields coming through for Cloud9, so with Chemtech's Soul, the extra
Dann geht's morgen früh los, 6:30 Uhr zum Flughafen.
to pushing, as you say, and try and poke down during the siege. But if you look at FlyQuest, they were trying to do these trailing split push play where you see Azir on the minimap kind of behind the Gnar out of vision. He was waiting the whole time. He was hoping
Wohin geht's? Berlin.
and attack the Gnar, but they didn't take the bait, and they've got Baron. Race your bait
Guys.
with Baron. The Baron team always wins those races.
Guys, du hast kein TP-Ward behind, by the way. Garkos.
TPs are
What in the fuck?
Nexus Turbine has already been killed. Griffin tries to engage and buy a little bit more time. Vulcan into the back line.
Oh, Azir. Oh mein Gott, Masu.
As the Emperor's Divide is already used, but Griffin is
Oh mein Gott. Oh mein Gott.
next. FlyQuest are collapsing in real time.
Oh mein Gott.
Sun Disk is alive on the ruins of the first Nexus turret. C9 still pushing.
Wow.
Baron, C9 find another kill. Cryogen dies. Masu and Gatghost against the full C9 squad. Masu tries to get away as Tactical shifts forward. Gatghost now caught by the Zenith Blade, but the Shield of Daybreak not quite in range to get the follow-up yet. Accelerated Shock Blast finds another target. Gatghost dies before we can transform. C9
Ja, ich würde auch für Vulcan appellieren, by the way.
door in and won the game.
Ich würde Vulcan appellieren für Player of the Match.
Game 1 to start off my match of the week. I'm going to lord over Rez briefly. But this is exactly what I wanted to see from both of these teams. And what a great ending from C9 just being like, look, we have Baron. We can just barrel into your base.
Careful gloating over Raz right when we're about to give it to him. Raz, what do you have to say in response?
I plead the fifth, and I don't have to respond to anything you guys have to say.
Oh, wow. Oh, he's a humble king over
Look.
here.
I will wait and bide my time.
Great game there from C9. In the argument of who's going to be the top 3 teams, C9 strike first early, and they looked good doing it. That was an S tier top
What are you
laner,
clapping for?
Raz.
You said it was going to be FlyQuest, Raz.
Yeah, I did say that. By the way, regular season
Regular
versus
season,
playoffs.
true.
That's all that
I
matters.
mean, the other
Two
thing that
different
we want to talk
Jekyll and
about is
Hyde.
you can kind of see it at the side of Raz, assist mountain. So today, starting the day, Vulcan was 30 assists behind Afremu for #1 all time, meaning he needs 31 assists to get the record. Might happen in game 2. They're going to be running in the update during this segment. He's creeping a little bit closer.
He's moving up. Also, shout out Blabber, who overtook Bjergsen during that series.
He did for #6
he
all
moved
time.
up 1.
It'll be a long time until he can get #5. But there was a highlight play from Vulcan early on that we want to look at right now.
Yes.
Where he just had insane plays from the top lane.
And I believe this is our Pagoda moment. This was an incredible setup for C9, and Vulcan's the one that really smashes it down.
Yeah, getting the ball, the Ori ball on top of him, and then just flashing as a response, I thought was a really, really, really good combo. And then immediately following up, it happens right here, basically. Like, gets it, sees the angle. Oh! We got a different side of the camera to end apart.
But then,
this one to follow up immediately with an ulti on towards, if I remember, Griffin, and then ease forward. Like, that was an incredible play built off the Vulcan. And then just lives.
So, also Crunchyroll.
If you see a Pog-worthy play,
Crunchyroll.
Better than that.
Doesn't get
Wir laden runter Lord of
one more
Mysteries.
is all he needs to overtake Afremu.
you know what I look for when I watch League of Legends, though?
Laut über Leona, laut war mein ich gebannt.
I actually think that's what completely decided this game because C9 had mid-prio, and that's how every good thing in this game happened because of it, aside from one thing that I had from Blabber. But just watching this right here, a thing to note is that the whole game, after the solo kill, Thanatos could get pushed whenever he wanted. So he was always pushing in either the Gnar or the Azir. Then he would be first on mid and just allow C9 to always take full control of these zones. So this is the first example where they hold river, Thanatos TP's in, and just no one can stop Blabber from getting the Drake. Pretty easy. We go to the next setup. Pre-Drake, they're already setting up their mid-prio. You can see once again, Thanatos got pushed top, runs mid.
So, okay, 5 Folgen, das muss rein. Das sind 2,5 Stunden.
That gets them another Drake. They go to the third Drake. They're running the same playbook over and over again.
Ich habe Demon's auf der Shadow Ram geschaut für bis Folge 15 oder sowas.
Sideways in, they can move in, completely take river, and Blabber can just for free take another Drake because of mid-prio. When they finally gave up mid-prio is when the game got really rough. They messed up the engage. They used mid-prio to start Baron. Baron takes longer than Dragon. And then Masu literally walks like a psychopath. But Thanatos misses his EQ, so they can't one-shot him, and they kind of get a miracle, which then made Dom very stressed out.
Yeah.
And they actually lost mid-prio from that point. So I'd say another play of the game was Blabber sneaking because they can't get mid-prio. So he's like, I guess I still have to find a way to start a fight.
Crazy.
Flies all the way around, gets the insane engage onto Masu.
Banana combo!
Banana combo!
I can't believe Loki was in range to get that.
And then the game was crazy, but I really just wanted to talk
check the
about
end real quick while you're up there. How many
yeah,
assists did he have? How many assists did Vulcan
At the end of the game to
At
Vulcan?
the end of the game while you have it in front of you.
Yeah, at the end of the game,
curious.
Vulcan had victory 12 assists.
12 assists.
So he is now 19 off the record.
It's not going to happen,
He
is it?
could
Assist
get it in
mountain.
a game, but I think more than likely it's at if FlyQuest pushes to a game 3. Raz, what's the likelihood of a game 3?
I'm not
It's a tie between Thanatos
it's
and
a
Vulcan.
tie?
So
Tie.
you saw Assist Mountain, you saw Thanatos got mid-prio. I'm voting for Thanatos because of the mid-prio.
Ja, ich bin bei Fnatic so überrascht.
And the solo.
Sehr überrascht.
I'm voting for
Also wirklich.
Vulcan.
0,0 damit gerechnet.
Moment. But then also that moment when they went for that deep engage, I think Vulcan was the big reason why they were able to actually win that.
Tactical.
I like this actually tactical, especially at the end of the game. He had some
However,
really cool plays.
the way the ties work is ties go to whoever was within the tie and has the biggest fan vote, so Vulcan wins it.
Vulcan, there we go.
wins
Congratulations,
it.
Vulcan.
Player of the game.
Vulcan.
We don't even get a runoff election.
Yep.
Sehr valid.
Okay, who voted for what?
Sehr, sehr valid.
Emily, Kobe, Vulcan, Flowers joined y'all on Thanatos.
Okay, thanks, Captain Flowers.
That's messed up.
Cam Flowers is a believer.
High
But
five
there we
to
go,
Flowers.
2-1-12. Congratulations to Vulcan. The 2026 LCS Championship, though, is headed to the Gas South Arena in Atlanta, Georgia
Raz.
from October 3rd to
Raz.
4th. Tickets are available now.
Say that again, Raz.
Yeah, we don't want to
Kangas.
hear it in your voice.
No?
Thank you very much. No,
Okay.
we don't want to hear it in your voice. But I'm going to tell you guys personally, from me to you, because in 2026, the LCS Championship is headed to the Gas South Arena in Atlanta, Georgia, in that area. From October 3rd and 4th, tickets are available now. If you don't buy tickets, they're going to hit me with plushes again.
Yep.
No!
That's right.
What the hell do you mean? Plushies are in my dream. They're everywhere. They're coming for me. Fight back.
Plushies
Fight back.
will continue
Stop
until
it.
tickets
after
are
the break.
purchased.
I'll fight back after the break. I didn't know this is what this was for. Stop, I'm out of here.
Bye,
Krank.
kids.
Right. Shopkeeper time. What are we doing for this build?
First pick, 564 miles of range.
This should last us a while. What's next?
Lane economy is key.
Okay, how about 30 miles to the gallon then? It's a high tempo pick.
We can't neglect power. How about 329 HP?
We can buy one more item. What about vision? The map's fully lit. We're not missing anything.
All right, let's get this show on the road.
And Rez, hey, support means support. No running off this time.
That was just a one-time thing.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Rich in the ground before Dove can even get there. Time to try to
Ja, bis wann, wenn du noch früh wach raus musst, keine Ahnung. Also wir nehmen auf jeden Fall noch die Recap auf, aber ich weiß noch nicht wann.
Get fed. Scan the QR code for deals only on Uber Eats.
Wie soll sie kann es bringt eh nix. Es ist so oder morgen ist es so oder so over. Es ist egal. Das Ding ist 100% an der Wand, no matter what.
I can win slowly.
Yep. How close hold?
On this cannon, I think.
Okay.
I can
One
come,
more,
guys.
one
I
more,
can
one
come.
I'm going.
I'm
Going,
coming, I'm
going.
coming. Yeah, I'm coming. I'm
Look
first,
coming,
I'm first. If it's
Yeah.
good.
Corner
Flash.
flash.
I'm still
Look
coming,
Wukong,
guys.
guys.
I'm 6 to 1
Yeah,
minute.
look Wukong.
Good, I'm coming. Sick.
Wukong ult.
I wanted to
No
take
fight, no fight.
1 minute, kill a minute, maybe.
You can go. Polish.
Yeah.
Polish.
Nice.
Go polish, Karama.
Look Wukong X.
Yeah. Azir is still coming, guys.
Nice, guys.
As there's your shockwave, Vulcan goes in and he lines up the solar flare right after. Griffin is stunned up, and Tactical guns him down. C9 just walked up to the bottom lane, kicked the door in, and won the game.
Ne, gib kein Interview.
Dude, there's no crabs in this game mode. You'll be like the goat, no? In this game mode?
I would actually be
No
good.
crabs,
No
and
crabs.
you get level 6 fast.
Oh man, mein Correspondent.
W bait. Yes! Going.
I'm basing on one speed. Yeah.
Kill! Big hit!
Nice!
I'm exhausted and I volt. Oh, nice.
I'm through.
Oh,
Whoa!
with,
I feel.
Yeah. Can you
Wait, what? He one-shot me with this items?
I can't use it.
Hello?
I can't use it.
Oh, double lift 2!
Yes, kill. That was bad.
Hey! Mine 5. What?
I got you.
Dude, I can't move.
5 seconds.
Okay. Beast mode activated!
No, you're think. Oh.
Dude, he one-shot me! With a Triforce and a static shift.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the LCS. We're in the middle of a best of 3 between C9 and FlyQuest. Game number 1 went on for quite a while. We ended up having 6 Elemental Drakes taken, and right before the Elder Dragon was about to cause another big battle, instead, Cloud9 decided it's just time to end it. They deathball down bottom lane. They forced the end of the game, and although FlyQuest was able to respond a couple of times, I think that overall, after the first game here, it is C9 just hitting harder.
They certainly were, and there were 2 people hitting really hard. That was Tactical and Thanatos with the poke damage, and also even before the poke stage, Thanatos with the melee damage stage.
Yeah, just
I still remember
round 1 KO on Gakgos.
Yeah.
Flowers, you know, when you're casting that, I like went back to look at the 1v1 as I was like, was there anything fishy going on to analyze here? And there was literally nothing.
No, he just
teleports in, he hits every ability, and
Gakgos
watches him and dies.
Yeah.
It was rough.
It reminded me of playing, you know, like you're playing a ladder game at 1 o'clock in the morning or something. One guy's not paying enough attention.
Boah, ist mir scheißegal, wer Casinos streamt, ist ein Loser.
All right,
on that one.
Okay, well.
Mir scheißegal.
All right, well, let's get into game number 2, because nobody likes a game.
Aber also das sind so unnötig irrelevante Menschen.
This is the best of 3 region.
Die jucken mich 0,0.
Let's see what we get here as C9 are on the blue side. FlyQuest electing to go for first pick. Shoutouts, by the way, to producer Emin for adding this blue side first pick thing here in the draft. Absolutely.
Big E.
Yeah. Big E.
Kass offen.
We're trying it out. I still like Big G better,
G
but you know. Big E is pretty strong too.
Shoutouts to you, Emmett. Thank you so much, everybody on the production as well. As we do do have Lucian, Olaf, Cassiopeia.
Oh, Cass ist raus. Nevermind.
FlyQuest getting rid of the Vayne.
Poppy ist offen. Actually, ja, Poppy ist genannt.
The Nocturne. As
Für 1 Million Euro Dealer nehmen.
Picking this one. They can't pick the Olaf for Gakos. We're still paying the Olaf on the C9 side.
Ich würde jetzt Nein sagen, aber then again.
Bard. And yeah, another
Kann ich dir nicht sagen, right? Also, natürlich werde ich jetzt Nein sagen, aber ob, also...
prioritized on the previous patch, again, despite all the noise about how roaming
Die Realität ist, ich könnte es dir nicht 100% versprechen. Keine Ahnung.
was still one of the most crucial supports on the patch, also because of his lane pressure and his ability to roam around the map very quickly. So we'll see what...
Getroffen? Nein.
I will say,
I do like a tactical Ziggs.
I will say, usually I don't like blind pick Bard though. I usually like it way more if
No idea.
it's already showing hard engage that you
Kein
can counter,
Thema,
or if they're showing, like,
dementsprechend.
low mobility carries that you can get flashes out with your Bard ulti. But they really want it.
Yeah. I do like what we're seeing with the Shen.
Ja, wahrscheinlich, naja, also du bekommst legit pro Woche bekommst du so 5 Anfragen von Skin-Seiten oder auch Casino-Seiten, right? Und offensichtlich habe ich es noch nicht angenommen, right? Oder nicht drauf respondet auf irgendwas davon. Also, I don't know. Ich würde weiterhin behaupten, nein. Also vor dem Stream gemacht, LOL gespielt.
Mid-Teamfight.
Yeah, and you can match some Bard play.
Vielleicht war auch noch kein Mio-D dabei, keine Ahnung, Guys, weil ich nicht responde auf sowas.
We'll take a look though. The Varus
Bin ein bisschen überrascht, dass noch kein Mutter. Jeder hat Angebote, jeder einzelne Streamer hat Angebote, Guys.
When the opponent is something like Shen, because
Legit, jeder Streamer über Gott weiß wie wenig Vion hat, so die neue für den Prime hat ein Angebot.
Huge piercing arrow doesn't. Obviously, it can be harder to apply the blight stacks when your auto attacks aren't landing, but at least it's not like you're Sivir or something, throwing boomerangs into a whole bunch of them.
Ich denke, die Million wird es aber nicht mit Stream knacken, oder? Also, wer weiß ich, wo soll ich das wissen? Keine Ahnung. Ich gerade angefangen für den zweiten. Wer weiß, vielleicht bin ich in einem Jahr mit 5000 Average-Viewern hier. Who knows? RNG.
Yeah, they might be more incentivized to do that because they did the Ambessa lock-in with Renekton up, and Renekton...
Als ob sich das für die Seite lohnt. Natürlich lohnt sich das.
Gakos is an excellent Renekton player, so I would actually be...
Weißt du, wie viele Leute hier in dem Chat wetten? Sportwetten machen? Unglaublich viele. Also wie leicht du die Leute zu Slots führst, aber 100%.
I do appreciate that FlyQuest are recognizing how strong they can be in a 2v2 and how well they have the capability to play around that. Again, because I think it had been a strength of this team in Split 1 and Split 2, especially with how well Masu was playing. So we'll see how this game evolves, but I do like that at least in both of their drafts thus far, FlyQuest have recognized that as a point of power on the map, and a very important one given all of the stuff we always talk about with how important Drake stacking is.
All right, let's see what we get out of the second half of the draft as AP solo laners are targeted. The Silas banned away. FlyQuest side, Rumble removed by C9 as they will also continue paying respects to Griffin Shyvana with that last ban.
Yeah, and I appreciate the respect paid to Griffin. I also appreciate the Rumble ban recognizing, as we already pointed out, that Ambessa can be going in the jungle for Griffin as well, and that they might want to flex it into a counter pick for Gakos.
And you kind of have to ban the Shyvana ban is a response actually to seeing Silas you up. Shyvana ult is one of the best ults to steal. So if they're banning Silas, you get a little.
Well, gehen wir jetzt Griffin Support Jungle am besser oder lassen wir ihn Toplane einfach vor die Hunde?
Really good Shyvana angle. And so they're going to deny that one as well. And then the Jarvan here kind of giving the opportunity for a lot of those early game plays, especially with a Shen support with you. It's definitely a very strong combo.
And I didn't note it until the hover, but Poppy has been pretty much banned in so many matches, right? And that will be going over to Blabber, presumably. I mean, they could technically, I guess, flex the Shen into jungle as well. But I'm assuming it's going to be Jhin, Shen, and then Poppy saving that counter pick for Loki in the mid lane.
Yeah, and now Cloud9 are set up with double counters on Ambessa. You've got Renekton for lane counter, and you have Poppy for all-game dashes counter later on as well to make it more difficult for the Mbessa to play, regardless of what lane she goes to. But especially if you are jungle, then it makes it easy for Black.
Poppy ist genau aus dem Patch. Viel weniger Damage.
Goes top or goes jungle. Cloud9 are preparing quite a few answers.
Tough game for Noxie and Grandma. We'll see how well she can navigate it or if she'll need the walker by the end of this one. FlyQuest gonna go ahead, lock in that Syndra there for the mid lane for quad. And we do get the Zahen.
Yeah, here we go. So Griffin takes the Mbessa. Blabber's gonna match the Mbessa with the Poppy, try and keep her grounded, and it's a lock angle for the dive. Now,
Verdammt guter Lock-Angle.
really help out divers like this. I do like when you have a setup similar to this. You have
Verdammt guter Lock-Angle.
go in on the lock. You get huge value out of getting that extra shield as well, because you're just trying to get a reset for the lock. And if you have Jhin 4th shot burst,
Auf Locke.
lots of bruisers to go in
Und dann 2-0, ja.
as well, then honestly, this is one of the looks I do like to try and build it up. I will say the stats worldwide for tier 1 play for Lock have not looked great.
Rough.
Faker had a good one, but overall the win rate is very low after the nerfs to the champion. But you know what? I want to see when teams can make it work effectively. I still think the burst damage is insane. The reset power of this champion is crazy. And if you have a lot of dive to go with it, then I'm a believer.
Yeah, the most important thing is the comp that C9 have built around the lock, right? Like Shen, really, really great. Poppy, really, really great. You just have even Renekton stun, right? You have so much setup for the lock to be able to move around freely in these fights, get those resets. So it still will rely on them to be able to set it up. But for right now, there's a lot of CC that can be layered so Loki can kind of just go crazy.
Alright, let's go.
I want to see if they can get active
Ich glaube, das ist ein sehr OP-Lock-Angle.
Because remember, as long as you get the kills using the ultimate, using Purgatory, you get that permanently increased execution threshold. Ranks in the skill take it from 10%, 11%, 12% respectively of target's maximum health, but you get an extra 0.5% for every kill you get. So 2 kills equals an extra rank worth of damage as immediately into the bottom lane.
I mean, es gibt Lane Pressure Level 1, das ist gut.
Matsu has lost half his HP here at the very start as Vulcan and Tactical are ready to play this one aggressively.
Yeah, Tactical got to fire off a full round, all 4 bullets here. That is a lot of damage in early trade. Another 4th shot?
Yup, Masu's health bar is hurting, man.
Yeah, and I think it's so important when these last...
Aber der Münzwurf hochgemacht, Inflation hat gekickt gestern.
Game 5 in spring, it was the bot lane that made the huge difference as Vulcan goes in for another taunt. But I want to talk about the roster, right?
Okay.
Because we're promised a 7-man roster. We have not seen 2 of the men.
Yeah.
On the 7-man.
Ja, wo ist Sven?
It's at this point, I just think it's...
Wo ist Sven?
Yeah, it effectively has been a 5-man roster since the changes, but I guess we'll see as it goes on. You know, we'll continue to check in on Cloud9. Looking here with another trade. Lock's Wave Clear also is very, very good and super easy to use. I highly recommend it if you're playing with a friend who's not that great at CSing, because you just
I got a lot of those.
Yeah, throw all the nails through the wave flowers and then go for your E in there, and you're all good. Meanwhile, on the bottom lane,
Conqueror Lock. Ich habe einen Tweet von Phantasm gesehen vor ein paar Tagen, wo er meinte, dass es wohl einfach deutlich angenehmer zu spielen ist als Electrocute. Wo ist Blabber?
So there is possibly a world where the Flashless Shen gets punished, and he is kind of low health at the moment as they go for the blue steel.
Okay, Loki does get back out of the week, but oh no, it's first blood already over to Tactical as C9 bring Blabber and both bottom laners for the invade. They get the punish on the enemy support and Cryogen is down.
Oh, was passiert denn auf den Lanes?
Like this with the Poppy. Blabber goes for the aggressive invade and doesn't hesitate to flash stun into the wall.
Yeah, I really love how aggressively C9 have been playing out this early game overall, right, Kobe? Like, they set it up so well with the aggression from Vulcan Shen at level 1 to take over this bot side. And this is just such a well-coordinated, aggressive blue buff invade.
Das ist ja doch ein Top-3-Team, ja. Ich meine, also, es sind Welten zwischen Lion, TL und dem Rest, aber ja, auf 3-4 ist dann halt C9 / FlyQuest Red.
So yeah, successful steal
Yeah, I mean, they had so much CC available to them that it doesn't matter that they layer it all at the same time. They don't have to like wait and
Block-Skill-Erklärung ganz kurz. Q, 3 Nägel, die du rauswirfst. Jeder Nagel slowt, wenn du den ersten, also jeder aufeinanderfolgende slowt dann noch mehr. W gibt dir Attack Speed und Move Speed und zieht dir Prozent HP ab über Zeit. Hält aber so wie Tam Kench Grey Health quasi Damage, den du auch nimmst in der Zeit. Also stort es quasi und du kannst ihn reaktivieren, egal ob sie sieht oder nicht, um die HP einen Teil dazu zu bekommen. Dein E ist ein Dash, ein Initial Dash, ein Blink, quasi Echo E und dann noch ein Auto-Attack, also basically Echo E, der deine Nägel prockt und deine Ulti ist so ein Totem, macht Damage und wenn die Gegner, die davon getroffen werden, unter 50 oder unter einem Prozentwert von HP sind, werden die executed und du kannst aufsammeln. Passive, jeder Nagel oder sowas, der getroffen wird, macht... Nee, du machst extra Damage on Hit. Extra Magic Damage on Hit, der höher wird, je niedriger der Gegner ist. Und jeder Nagel, du siehst es gleich, der wird jetzt einen Nagel werfen, gibt so eine kleine Mark. Warte. Zack, den Mark bei dem kleinen Minion da rechts. Die Mark kannst du auslösen mit Auto-Attacks oder mit deinem E. Wenn du sie auslöst, macht sie, je nachdem wie viele Stacks der hat, Damage. 3 Nägel gleich One-Shot. Da ist der W, du siehst, wie die HP verliert. Ja. C9, 7 Mann raus, das Fake ist Fakt natürlich. Natürlich.
does have a small lead here in the lane. It's not like what we saw last time. The first teleports have been completed on both sides. Those are pretty much synced up. Nobody's dead yet. It's kind of just locked in this stalemate of farm.
Farm, and Thanatos is getting more of the farm.
Yeah. And he's pushing in the wave.
And he's level 6 advantage because of the pushing wave. However, he's a bard down, so +1 level, -1 support for Thanatos, and he doesn't care, still gets the turret plate money. Well played.
And you could see that even though Cryogen doesn't actually jump out and do anything,
Ich habe das ganze Wochenende nicht gespielt, so geil.
that aren't actually
GIG.
The Christmas one, but he leaves those in the brush. That'll be a little bit of extra healing there for Gakgos. Little flower petals. Okay, cool. I like that. That's thematic.
You just made me realize that I automatically call it hot cocoa.
Oh, same. Also, I did not for 1 second did I believe that Flowers likes the flower petals nearly as much as he likes the hot cocoa. He's like, yo, I like it. I'll take some tea.
Yeah, I do like the flower petals. They're kind of like, that's one of my things.
Wer von beiden Midliners Geld besser? Ja, das kannst du nicht so sagen. Beides gehen sehr gut.
Hot honey water here, you know, when you're casting as well. So it's kind of similar.
Very important. Bard left me.
Würde wahrscheinlich mit Syndra gehen, generell, aber Locke hat halt... Locke, wenn die Gegner nicht viel HCC haben, und das hat eben Flag-Version nicht, kann komplett Games übernehmen.
Shout out to all the bards that make this show possible.
Honestly, yes. Meanwhile, what happened bot lane, because the Bard was topside, was that C9 is actually able to pick up that first Drake, again, going hand in hand with their early game plan as...
Ooh, immediately they drop the taunt on Damasu, who tries to get away, but he can't.
Bye, buddy.
Accept the deadly flourish. The Varus is dead again. Tactical uses his
Ist das geil, Alter?
make sure that they're getting back away. Cryogen goes on a magical journey, trying to come through the wall and do
Oh,
something.
Dicker, ich habe mir einfach einen Revuelto gekauft.
Tactical should be dead to rights here. Vulcan does manage to get away. Tactical, there's no way out of this. You just kind of got to decide how this is going to go down. And
Get another minion. Oh.
It's going to go down like this. Tactical does manage to get one last minion as he is shut down with the kill credit going over to Quad.
That's what you got to think about those times, you know. People are like, oh, on your deathbed, your life flashes before your eyes. No, money flashes before your eyes. You need to scramble for as many minions as you possibly can get before you die.
That's what I'm going to think about when I'm laying there. Just like, I should have got that extra minion. I should have cleared an extra camp.
Grind set, Flowers.
Your network is your net worth, Kobe.
I need one more minion before I die.
Sorry.
I need you guys to, like, never mind. I was going to say something really morbid for the future. Now we have Vulcan up.
Well, maybe this is something really morbid. C9.
We're just joking here. Live full lives, everyone, you know.
Yeah.
Don't focus on the money.
Unless you want to. If you want to focus on your minions and your money, live your life. That's part of living your life, too. C9's living their life. They're focused on Gakgos' life and making sure that it's hell. They want him away from this turret. They want
Weiß nicht, was passiert ist, aber ich habe auch wieder... Boah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Okay. Ich weiß nicht, wie deep ihr in...
By C9.
Ich weiß nicht, wie deep ihr im TikTok-Brainer drin seid. Aber ich habe leider wieder seit 3 Tagen, also habe ich wieder Dore 65 auf meiner For You-Page. Es ist so schlimm.
Again, just a really nice little quick play, and also
Es ist so schlimm, wirklich.
really make Gakkos' life
Good night, Juli.
not fun. I feel he has
Who,
We don't know what, you know.
weiß bis heute nicht, wie Sahin Revive stackt. Auto-Attacks oder Spare-Hits.
Kobisa over here saying that suffering is...
Wer ist deshalb kein TikTok? Okay, Moment.
Just like, do hard things, Flowers, then you'll better.
Dore 65.
All right, Kobe's taking the monk approach here. It looks like
Moment.
Thanatos could be in some danger. Arrives back into lane, but immediately has the support of his teammate there. Vulcan with the stand united. Does not want to allow Thanatos to immediately face a bad lane state.
Nein, das ist falsch. Moment. Auch falsch. Moment. Scheiße, ich find's nicht. Moment.
GIG Gastro ist geil, wir ficken Redo seine Bubenglatze. Komm bei Dore 65, kriegst du eine Achos Scharmuta Grillplatte. Ich schwöre auf Allah, zeig mal auch die Ameisen dazu. Lag, wenn du Berlin seine Mutter drehst, wirst du diese Grillplatte auf jeden Fall, wenn du sie so drehst, Wallah. Auch, ich glaube, in ganz Europa kriegst du keine Grillplatte für 30 €. Und lass mal den LKW aus Holland durch, damit Achter und Frozen da ist. Danach, ich gebe dir Tiramisu, sonst nicht. Habibi.
Wallah, alles was er sagt, ja.
Auf jeden Fall.
Wir haben Achus Scharmuta Grillplatte bestellt. Ist ein Fleischberg. Massaker ist das. Hähnchen ist on the top von dem
this early game.
Dore 65 auf jeden Fall. Also,
The kind of setups we were talking about from C9.
Yeah.
But I really like, more importantly, I do think Vulcan's timing around the map has been quite good.
Yeah, now he's got
das ist noch, also, gehst du dorthin auf gar keinen Fall. Auf gar keinen Fall. Das ist noch, also das ist noch Einstiegslevel, dieses Video. Das Video hier ist noch Einstiegslevel. Da gibt's noch viel schlimmer.
We're about winning. So, and Afromu currently is not playing. Maybe he comes back, but...
Well, I also don't think that Cryogen's really playing a lot right now either, as he is caught in the enemy jungle, trying to do what Bard does, roam around a little bit, instead gets immediately punished, but now Blabber, the same fate.
Und da ist die Execute. Und der E-Reset.
But Griffin gets the kill before he dies to Loki in trade. You could see there the ultimate also used from Loki. That Purgatory gets dropped, so he is going to get the extra buff on that passively as he returns back to lane. So now we're getting a little bit more action. Now it's a little bit more high octane.
Yeah, as Vulcan pushes up on this bot side, looks like both teams are going to wait for their junglers to come back. Ooh, I love this vision toggle.
Yeah, this is Cryogen vision.
Yeah.
As he's going in for his play. Oh, I'm just a bard setting up some vision. Oh, shoot!
There's a Poppy here. Where did that come
Blabber's
from?
camping the blast cones again.
Yeah, and then as we speed through, I like that they recognize that we can go immediately in onto the Blabber, right? But this also sets up for Loki's second kill, which puts him in a really good little early start. Apollo, like Cryogen, did not realize Blabber was in the bush.
That was great. I do like to. So Locke also, Loki wants to go pick up the skull, so you get your extra cooldown back a little bit refunded for the ultimate.
Oh, wir sehen die Stacks jetzt bei Locke. Wait, wir sehen die Stackies. Ein Stack hat er. Falls Frage ist, was machen die Stacks? Die geben dir 0,5% Execution auf der Ulti. Geht um 0,5% Max HP hoch.
For Locke, and we're gonna get these resets and have this burst damage. It's been a pretty good recipe so far for Cloud9. They even have the little passive bonus of the first Infernal Drake. The little Infernal Drake bonus for the extra bit of damage to get him low enough and reset.
Gibt's ein Stack Limit? Nein. Und Ulti Cooldown? Ja, aber also, ja.
Tech Rift. I just think because there's so many, there's so many fun setups that I think both of these teams can
More
try to
action.
do
Emily
to
just
get
wants more blood.
onto
Es gibt kein Stack-Limit, aber du bekommst im Normalfall in Competitive wirst du nicht so viel Stack sehen. Also mal schauen, wie viel er hier hat bis zum Ende von Game. Wie stackt man? Leute müssen von deiner Ulti sterben. Und du musst dann das Totem, das danach droppt, musst du aufheben.
But now everybody can do it. As you can see, Cryogen taking his recall, but in a hidden spot, just in case there's the opportunity to do anything bottom lane. But Loki's not going to give him that opportunity. 1-to-1 in Drake's here early on. C9 having all 3 grubs in this second game compared to FlyQuest having them in the previous one. As Blabber shows up here in the top side, Thanatos does have his Dominus ready to cast if they want to try to go.
Doré 65 Vlog, auf gar keinen Fall.
C9 party.
Oh, der Goon Squad.
They probably even got a DJ for this one. Gakos trying to just clear out the wave. There's Grim Deliverance as he tries to escape, but nothing's going to deliver you away from
Holy fuck.
C9 with the top lane dog pile. Get there, man.
Gakos is like, great, a party. What'd you guys get me?
Yeah.
Das können mehrere Stacks von einer Ulti kommen? Ja.
That's what I wanted.
Pro Executed Target bekommst du halt ein Stack.
You wish you could return to the store.
You guys, you really shouldn't have.
Yeah, off of that, though, I do like the response from Quad and Griffin down here, right? Like getting that first turret onto Quad, who was able to
Ja, ohne Emotionen wäre es wahrscheinlich besser, als zu sterben, ja.
lane earlier on. So having your Syndra in a good spot, also great. And then Tactical cleaning up that top side turret.
Ooh, Cryogen goes for the Tempered Fate. He misses.
Oh, er ist Korean.
Cosmic Binding. Thanatos
Oh, er ist tot.
for now, but remember there was no Dominus. So as soon as Griffin commits the public execution, it is exactly that. They get the kill on Thanatos, but now Griffin.
I guess, wenn du gegessen wirst, zählt es auch dazu, aber ich weiß es nicht.
Make their way towards this.
Meinst du, die wollen Genji heute Morgen? Das ist balsam für die Seele. Balsam für die Seele.
Nothing else is going to happen. So FlyQuest, like we're saying, they get first turret. They grab themselves the extra kill in retaliation. Now Blabber's coming in mid, trying to find something on Damasu. Point blank Keeper's verdict forces the flash, but nothing more as the Rift Herald finally spawns 15 minutes in.
Yeah, even though, you know, Gakos has been enjoying his struggles up in the top lane, really, FlyQuest.
Ein Hate waren schon wieder, Blabber. Hat er gemeint, was höher Schlonswert? Ich meine, es war knapper, als es hätte sein sollen. Ja, kann man. War Balsam Fnatic oder T1? Boah, Fnatic war ich. Fnatic war eigentlich kein Balsam, weil Internetprobleme. Deswegen war ich da richtig sauer.
Cloud9, good response, so, you know, pick up the Herald. That's always good for a couple plates. So at least, well, I say that and there's a Bard on the enemy team.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not that good for a couple plates. We'll see about Cryogen's positioning. If he can be there and be ready for a Rift Herald play.
I mean, isn't that so annoying? In game number 1, your Rift Herald gets stopped by a Azir wall. Now in game number 2, you're up against Bard. It is both the FU Rift Herald champions in back-to-back games in the same best of 3.
Yeah. Rift Herald is just like, man, I want
Jussi, danke für die 210er Streak.
Poor Rift Herald. There was even with all the parties happening, Rift Herald doesn't even get to have fun.
It's true.
You just have to be smart about when you use it. You see Cryogen on the bottom side of the
Lockstacks erhöhen dann Execute Limit, nur Damage, nur das Execute Limit. Also Damage von der Ulti geht gar nicht hoch, es ist nur das Execute Limit.
That's dirty. Sorry, Cryogen.
Yeah, Rift Herald is telling everybody.
You must have lost your invite in the mail.
Yeah, so we're gonna have a secret party.
Oh wow.
We got another party now in the Cloud9 jungle. Unleashed
Gangbang.
power delivered straight to
Genji gewonnen, ja.
doorstep thanks to the Griffin.
Fly hat mehr DPS, richtig, oder bin ich ein Esel?
That's FlyQuest grabbing themselves their 4th kill. FlyQuest, despite being
Sehr viel vom Meta abhängig, würde ich sagen.
1000 gold as a team and that gold.
Aber AD Carry DPS technisch ist C9 Favorite.
It's all the Quad Griffin show.
Yep, keep playing off of these 2 high damage champions there. Good burst damage. Vulcan trying to just face check his own territory, retake your own jungle here, but walking in already had very good position for FlyQuest, and that sets them up for the Hextech Dragon here. They can use the gates to reset, get back out, and try and make an incision. Honestly, you have to be very careful about the opening of this fight because there is so much emphasis on bursting down a target. Griffin, he doesn't have his ult, and nor does Quad because they just used it to kill Vulcan, though, for the dragon fight, so maybe they call it off.
Yeah, I think that's why you do see Griffin kind of hovering around, just as I say that.
Aha. Execute Nummer 1, Execute Nummer 2, kommt nicht durch sogar. Oh, wow. Okay, doch bekommen. Er kann es aber nicht aufhindern. Da seht ihr, da waren jetzt 2 Seelen reingezogen. So, was ist mein Ohr? Was? Minate Watch von den beiden Teams hinein. Da waren jetzt 2 Seelen gefangen. Das heißt, er hat das jetzt aufgehoben. Also er muss dieses Totem aufheben. Dann bekommt er 2 Stacks dazu. Jetzt seht ihr, er hat die Stacks nicht bekommen. Er muss dieses Totem aufheben. Die bleiben das ganze Game überlegen? Nein. Bis die Ulti ab ist, meine ich. Oh. Was zur Hölle machst du da, Quad, mein Ach? Ich bleib auch liegen. Was redest du, Mike? Und was zur Hölle hat Quad da gerade gemacht? Ja, Mike strikes me as a this kind of person.
Kind of delay things, but then as they try to get back onto Griffin, Loki ends up opening up on Lock. Quad getting a few kills on the back end is huge too. I mean,
Also, ja.
these mid laners are such crucial points for their teams.
And you can see
neither coaching staff looks particularly happy about that one.
During the replay, I want to point out for the picture
Beide verzweifeln.
who wasn't watching, the Herald was summoned up during the replay and it charged into the tier 1 turret without being barred interrupted. So they did manage to get at least their 2 plates worth of value out of the Rift Herald there on the C9 side. I still gotta wonder, what was Quad thinking though at the end there? Because that just seems so risky.
He was thinking, I'm Syndra. Every jungler hates me because I yoink away camps all the time. So I'm going to annoy another jungler, but he was way out of line, Flowers. Not this time. Justice for the junglers that have been annoyed by Syndra's all this time.
I mean, I like it. I hate when Syndra does that.
Yeah.
Walk up and yoink the giant buff and throw it into Timbuktu. No. This time, you are punished for your hubris as Quad ends up dying. That was his first death all game. 3-1-2 here on that pick. 100% kill participation so far. Obviously,
Man muss morgen los, 6:30 Uhr zum Flughafen.
for him, but across the aisle, it's Loki 4-1-0 on that lock. Highest individual kills in the game between either team, as he does have his Chovy Belt plus his Lich Bane both completed, so the burst damage is intense.
Yep, and we'll see C9 just kind of trying to push in this bot wave.
Hast du aus der Arena? Ja, morgen LCS aus der Arena. Ist es wieder Hunting Nash? Ja, zufälligerweise ist es. Wohin geht's? Nach Berlin. Wenn ich mir warum, dass du mit dem Auto fährst, nein, das ist für Köln. Und das ist auch Köln nur hinfahrt.
Just really trying to force FlyQuest into a situation where they can layer their CC and take someone out. But FlyQuest are making a really nice move up here.
Yeah, this is a 4-man push from FlyQuest, hungry for that turret crust. They're going to knock off half of the HP, but then immediately back
Delicious.
I love some turret crust.
Schande by the way. Keinerlei Schande, hungrig zu sein. Was für ein Event ist am Dienstag? Ich habe keine Ahnung. Was wäre ja Stadt kommst du? Nee, Stuttgart.
All right, it's Masu. Plus, Gakos.
He's out.
Mit wem kannst du in der Arena? Das ist eine Überraschung.
For sure, just goes back up to the top lane, immediately regroups with his own mid laner.
All right, yeah, anytime you try and make a teleport play on the top laner, if they see it in time and they saw Gakos channel in that teleport down bottom, he can just use his own as an exit out to the top side for Loki, but...
All right. FlyQuest wrapping around here, wanting to make the play towards Loki, who goes over the wall, gets himself away for now, throwing some ritual nails towards Griffin, but Scatter the Weak finds
Er kann halt W reusen. Oh my god, er ist tot. Wait a minute. Wait.
Try to save Griffin as Thanatos disengages. There's not enough damage here from C9 to finish off Griffin, and the play ends up working out for Fly so far. Now the curtain call has opened up. FlyQuest have got to make sure they protect the VIPs. They do just that. +1 Fly on the play.
Yeah, what a really nice public execution coming out of Griffin. We talked about one of the reasons why
Tolle hat schon bei Instagram was verraten.
wasn't just because of the matchup, but because
Ja, Berlin nachts Radfahren ist gar nicht so geil. So tagsüber voll cool, aber nachts ist jetzt irgendwie wilder. Ja, ich bin auf dem Weg nach Hause.
Was macht C9?
Für meine Eltern. Ich freue mich. Bin schon schlafen, glaube ich, aber ich hatte Spaß beim LC-Cast. Morgen Cast mit Obstbert. Mit Obstbert wird auch klasse. Ich freue mich sehr auf Opsi. Ja.
Ja, mach ich wohl morgen mit Tolkien, ja.
Gute Nacht. Und auch eine geile LC noch morgen. Und dann ist auch noch Legends-Zeremonie mit Caps und so am Dienstag. Da bin ich auch dabei und da freue ich mich sehr drauf. Ich hatte ja jetzt die Ehre bei Caps, bei Faker dabei zu sein, deswegen freue ich mich jetzt auch sehr auf das, was Caps eben machen wird.
Ach so.
Was die Zeremonie beinhaltet. Also, ciao.
Ach so. Hä? Hä? Da weiß ich nichts von. Hä? Ich weiß so. Bei aller Liebe, ich weiß da nichts von.
With all of these, again, we talked about these teams trading blows. They're constantly trading sides of the map. This ended up being such a good play from C9 because of the Vulcan collapse. Getting onto Masu, who was pushed pretty far up because he did have backup coming out of the FlyQuest jungle. However, that is going to put...
Boah, das ich habe, also, was der da erzählt hat, ist für mich ein Rätsel. Ist crazy. 21 cars? Was? Crazy.
Really great facilitators. And once you
Who's gonna drive those things?
Chains of Corruption and Tempered Fate both shot out. The chains miss, the Fate does not. Blabber going to be your target in the middle of 4.
Oh, ist Blabber tot.
Tries to buy enough time, but Blabber is already down. Meanwhile, back over in mid, Quad could be in some danger. Vulcan locks him up, but there's no follow-up damage. FlyQuest going to walk away with a +1 so far on this one. They have a 5-man group here in the mid lane. The tier 1 turtle died to a single auto attack. Masu grabs that one. Baron is live on the map, and FlyQuest path their way towards it.
Just as we're talking about, oh, Blabber, good pick off on the Varus in mid lane, then he gets picked. Just the
Krank. Also. Ja, morgen LEC mit Tolly. Überraschung.
Okay, C9, what's it?
Da steht morgen LEC. Oh, morgen 2x2-0.
He's behind the Baron pit wall now. Gakos jumps over, chasing towards the crocodile. Thanatos needs to make some distance, and he slices over the wall and finds Masu.
Wait.
Try to stay alive. Quad is killed instead.
Game 3, nicht.
From Thanatos to force a critical summoner spell out of one carry.
Morgen ist Navi gegen Heretics und KC gegen Gynix, also...
Crocodile play. He flanks all the way around, and he gets so much value that is insane. The entire team comes to try and chase him, but not only does he get summoned, he kills a key carry, and he gives his team the Baron. Thanatos, the savior of Cloud9, until we're inevitably a Baron.
Dass sie zusammenkastet, sagt Solkin schon seit einer Woche in seinem Stream.
They're coming up as a 4-man unit. Keep your eyes on Griffin as he wants to go into the pit. Gakos is in here providing a little bit of vision. Baron down to 2,000.
Oh mein Gott. War klar.
Griffin, FlyQuest take the objective. They are going to lose their jungler for it, but they will happily take the trade.
You knew it. With the way this series has gone, Flowers, inevitably, it's got to be a Baron steal after that.
It has to be.
On one hand we give, in the other hand we take.
Es gibt kein Wochenende, an dem der Typ nicht hintet.
Right? As we take a look at this Thanatos play, everyone just goes after Thanatos. He pops Dominus, almost assassinates Masu, and then Vulcan is immediately there for the taunt onto Quad. And then let's take a look at how...
Wann hat der Freak gesmited? Viel zu früh.
He just flashes in there. He tried to ult in first, and then he just flashes in to be able to get it afterwards. Steals it away. That was crazy too on the chase. FlyQuest, when they're chasing Thanatos, their 2 low mobility carries separate from everyone else to do the cutoff on the bottom side of the map. And Thanatos is like, great!
Cool!
The Syndra and the Varus have been isolated themselves on the other side of this red pit. Perfect! But then it turns around, they steal it on the side of FlyQuest. And we're right back into the action, Flowers.
So, the important thing that comes up next is in less than a minute and a half, the Hex Soul will spawn for C9. The gold is pretty much dead even. FlyQuest do command the Baron for 20 seconds beyond when that Dragon spawns, which should help them...
Fennec steht auch im Playoff-Plan. Fennec hat 67% Chance auf Playoffs. Mit allen Chancen 50-50. Ja, Patch in die Live-Patch.
Is moving in to get some vision down. Look at all of that vision control. I might have thought, I was like, is Blabber going to go for it? Is he? He has Loki there, but they're just going to end up clearing out the ward. But this should, as Cryogen is resetting, give them a really nice setup for this potential Hextech.
Also die Sache ist, diese Ambessa, die hat 1600. Also 1,7 HP, also die ist One-Shot-ish. Aber der hat Deathstance. Bis am Dienstag auch noch da mit Tolle. Also ich bin am Dienstag noch in Berlin, aber ich habe keine Ahnung, von was der da gerade gelabert hat. Wo er ist. Hall of Legends? Nie gehört. Was? Mit Channel drauf. Oh, wow. Wow, 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 wow. Wow, das war ziemlich gut. Deathstance auf Griffin.
Trying to fight his way out of this one, but Thanatos has arrived. Loki's still here for the follow-up damage. Griffin's just trying to get away, but no. Loki
Deathstance. Oh.
Just barely, but barely's gonna do it. C9 absolutely slammed the fight 4 for nothing. They're gonna take the Dragon Soul right after.
Am Blatter ist auf Lock. Eine Frage, die ich nicht beantworten kann. Machst du zweites Höchst auch noch? Ja, kann man machen. Das ist schnell, das ist ja schnell genug vorbei. Passt. Wenn das jetzt 2-0, also wenn das jetzt 2-0 ist, kann man machen, ja.
Really risky.
Die Series, dann 20 Minuten Speedrun, Recap, also wirklich Speedrun, kein Meta-Check. Highlights der Woche werden 10 Sekunden sein. Ich werde sagen, schaut euch meine Interviews an. Ja. Also wirklich Speedrun. Und ich werde auch im Video sagen, okay, es wird ein Speedrun.
Yeah, Masu positioned himself right against the wall. And you got to know, since you burned your flash over the red buff last time, they're talking about it.
Oh, man.
Lions sollte auch gewinnen, ja. Genau, Drüssel.
When the dive combo works, man, when the dive combo hits, I mean, all they have to do, you saw it, it's a flashless Varus, okay, against the wall. Blabber's eyes get huge. He's like, oh my god, the Varus is against the wall. Goes in, dead man play, goes for the flash stun. They get the lock ultimate to tag him for the execute, and look at that mountain of gold for Cloud9.
We talked about how dangerous the CC
Immer Ende der LCS Games.
being able to freely move in these fights. I have loved this series thus far. Like, it feels like whenever I think someone is going to win, the other team responds.
Well, C9 is now going to continue pushing their lead forward. FlyQuest grouped up defensively. They know they have to deal with this Hex Soul now. It provides C9 so much more power as Thanatos loses a good chunk of his HP, down to about half here on the Renekton, but Blabber is looking to re-engage. Thanatos with the dominance. Gat goes here from the front.
Thanos, Backline Access.
Want him. The Tempered Fate locks up multiple players here from both sides, and Quad is already down. That's the carry Syndra. That's the Fed FlyQuest player. C9 gets one, they get themselves right back out. FlyQuest still scrambling to defend as Tactical puts a bullet in the back of Cryogen's head. That's a 2-0 play for C9.
Full stacked Omniman Boots.
How much damage this Hextech Soul is doing in that fight too. Tactical now is going to be able to clean up this topside turret, and things are looking really good for C9, Kobe.
They certainly are. The snowball is in full effect. With the Hextech Soul, I mean, it is really difficult to stop this because there's such long-range setup from the Jhin, and everybody has dive here for Cloud9 with the setup, with the Dead Man's Plate on Poppy's is going to run at you. So FlyQuest, they don't have a lot of safety on the map, and checking anywhere out as far as Baron is definitely off the table. So we expect Cloud9 to continue to snowball this game, grab their Baron, and then look to finish the job at the FlyQuest base. Maybe even before then, they've got eyes on Masu, who again has no flash here, just a Ghost Blade to run for his life.
Yup, but he does do a good job sidestepping away from the taunt as Loki wanting to step up to grab the kill on Amasu, instead just immediately blasted by Quad. That's a pretty big shutdown for FlyQuest, for the player that already had most of the money. So FlyQuest will stem this tide for now. They're going to have to wait until Loki's back alive for C9 to do anything more.
And crucially, that stops this push, right? As we take a look at this earlier fight with Thanatos getting rooted up, taking a whole bunch of damage. And I was just counting how many Hextech procs were in this, but really nice engage from Thanatos, the response from the Bard. But again, C9 just have so much CC follow-up going in. And Tactical. Whoop.
Kerblam.
Yeah, it's really hard to protect carries like Syndra and Varus. Even if you have Bard Ultimate, you saw there. Syndra is already chunked within the duration of the stun. The flash from Thanatos, he's able to chunk her down to kill range for a Jhin shot lethal. And yeah, they Bard Ultimate to make one of the Jhin shots miss, but then she just dies.
Als nächstes Line gegen Sentinels ist Dom Head Coach, ja.
The Zonias anyways, and does
Ja,
go
seit diesem
down.
Split.
That quote there, Flowers, about FlyQuest, making worlds, looks less and less likely as they lose to the top teams of the LCS. Yes, their schedule has been very difficult. Team Liquid and Lion are top teams. Losing to them is really rough, but now here against Cloud9, they're on the precipice of losing here as well.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's looking at Liquid and Lion as the top two right now, but Gakos wrapping around from the side, trying to find the angle here to enter into the fight, tackled back into the wall instead. Determination mostly filled, but not quite there. The bar's not red yet. There he goes with the Grim Deliverance. Gakos in the middle of everybody as Vulcan has to try to get away. Blabber and Thanatos still here on the front line. Tactical opens up the curtain call.
Und Execute Nummer 1.
But he's trapped in purgatory. And
Und weiter geht's.
Blabber continues the charge.
Oh, Penta.
As Loki gets a double kill and Masu falls.
Penta.
A triple kill for the lock. Loki is popping off.
Es war ein Penta.
Denies the Penta as he cuts Griffin down himself. Only one left standing on FlyQuest. It's Gakos alone. C9 simply went past him. It didn't matter that he had the positioning that he needed. C9 found the fight they wanted. Now they have the march straight into the enemy base. They are going to force down these Nexus turrets without much of a fight from Gakos. There's nothing that the Zahin can do. C9
Sehr guter Prediction, PSG.
dominate the head-to-head against FlyQuest.
GG.
Cloud9 are heating up in summer, adding Tactical and Loki to the team. Looking quite good in this series. I really like the comp around Locke as well. Analysts.